Welcome back to the Friends of Zeus podcast. Tonight we are short just about everybody for episode 240. I don't know if there's any numerical connection there, but it's certainly interesting. We might have Alyssa come on if we can work through some snags while we're on the show, but tonight it's just Des and I. We should call this The Nurses Are In episode 2.
Episode, I think 3.
Is it 3? Did we do 2?
I think so.
We may
I think we
have. We
did a
may
couple
have.
more than that, I think.
I still think if this thing flops on us, we can still go back and do that. And
I think so we could too. I just don't know where you're at half the time. Like you're just always busy. You got no time.
I'm a mover and a shaker. Yeah, if I had just a little bit more time so we could do that, I think it'd be a banger. I mean, I'm sure there's nursing podcasts out there, but I think you and I would add an interesting element that is not out there in the social atmosphere. You notice I didn't call it the zeitgeist.
Mm.
Um, but tonight we're gonna kind of do a remake, of an apology episode, and actually do the episode that we were supposed to be talking about last week. We got a little bit into it, but it was things we did when we were young that we feel are stupid now, and things that we feel like they might be stupid later that we're doing now. Did that come out right?
Trends that are going to go by the wayside.
Yeah, yeah. And trends that went by the wayside. Yeah. So you had a list
I
that
do.
we
Well,
never.
before we get to the list, this
Uh-huh.
I do because it is just us and we
Mm-hmm.
are two nursey nurses. I did want
Mm-hmm.
to address what the internet is blowing up over currently. As of what's today? November the 25th.
Yeah.
Um, so the internet's going crazy over the fact that Donald Trump specifically said that nursing is no longer a professional degree.
Yeah.
What do you think about
Um,
that?
well, at face value, it bothered me, and it still bothers me, but not because of that statement. I get where that was coming from. I did a little looking into it, and it appears that this is more about finances, like loans and things like
Yeah,
that.
so to me it gives you didn't read the whole article
Right.
world because this has nothing to do with a profession. I mean,
No, because I also looked into it, and the most trusted profession in the United States is nursing. So there's a conflict there. Um, for me, I'm not worried about right now, and I think you and I, having been nursing for a while, we're going to kind of be grandfathered into a lot of this stuff. We're not going to have to worry about it as much. We're probably done with school, so it really doesn't affect us that much.
no.
The thing that the thing that bothers me is the paradigm shift that this could take. In essence, like if if this does go through, and it hasn't gone through yet, that's the other thing. It hasn't
Well,
gone
it
through
did.
yet.
It is part of the big beautiful bill. The wording is what hasn't technically gone through.
Right. They might be able to change it, is what I understood.
Hmm.
Um, but for me, the problem is still that in the long run, it could diminish our importance in the workforce. Like, just the attitude towards nurses may change. Does that make any sense? Like,
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to do that. Here's the thing. So let's talk about what happened. So we had the big beautiful bill. In the big beautiful bill, restructuring of student loans, federal student loans were part of that bill.
mm-hmm,
So up until even currently, so up until right now, or up until July 1st, we'll say, basically you can get various type of student loans. You can get subsidized slash unsubsidized loans. That was one. Those are typically like for undergraduates, people going to regular college bachelor's degree. You could get like direct plus loans, which is like your parents get it for you or something like that. I don't know. I never had that. So you get Pell Grants. But then you could get something called a grad plus degree. Okay. Now, the unsubsidized subsidized loan situation has always had a cap. I think it's like 20,000 or something a year that you could get. And it's supposed to be for a loan for like, tuition and books and stuff. What
Hmm.
the biggest difference between, well, I mean, there's a lot of differences, but one of the bigger differences between those types of loans and a grad plus loan is a grad plus loan, it's not only for the cost of tuition, it's the cost of attendance. Very key. What the cost of
Okay.
attendance is your living expenses included.
So
And
it's
there's
like for
no cap.
accommodations and things like that. Am I
Right, so there's no
understanding?
cap. So there's no cap on the amount you could borrow. So this is how that works. You have what's called a statement of living or a statement of we'll just call it that. A statement of
Okay.
living expensive, a cost of living expense sheet or something. And you say what your rent is, how much you spend on groceries, how much your car payment is, how much fucking gas is put to make that car go to school, how much you have to pay for childcare. Like this is all things that are included in that. And you turn that into your financial aid office and they take that and they say, okay, you're approved for all that much, or you're only approved for this much, plus the cost of the tuition of the school. And that's you can borrow all that money. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your rent is $8,000 a month, which is a lot, but hey, it might be. You can borrow that on your student loans currently
So
on the
yeah,
current.
I
Now,
mean, I
so
don't
the
know.
difference is, so it's basically reserved for anybody that's getting a beyond bachelor's degree, master's degree, uh, a doctorate degree, a PhD, or like a professional program, like a law school or whatever. Now, what they're doing is they're changing it to where, well, let me back up for a second. So, one of the places where I don't really understand what everyone's freaking the fuck out about is because nowhere ever in the history of ever did the FAFSA guideline for a grad plus loan ever even mention nursing. That was never in there.
Okay.
So
So it's
it
money that
basically,
may not have been used anyway.
what?
I'm trying to the money that they're taking away didn't necessarily need to be
Well, hold
part
on.
of all this.
Yeah, it did kind of, I guess, maybe.
There's a bougie quality to it. Like, oh, I get
No,
to be
just
housed as well.
no, hang on. Let me find the exact wording because I do have it of how these things were worded. Okay, so the previous wording of it when it talks about who the grad plus loans are reserved for, um, it says like academic requirements for beginning practice in a profession and a level of professional skill beyond normally required a bachelor's degree. Professional licensure is also generally required, which is again, there's some ambiguity how it used to be worded, or it currently is, but it's not going to be anymore. Professional licensure is also generally required. Examples of a professional degree are, but not limited to, but not limited to
Hmm.
pharmacy, dentistry, veterinary medicine, chiropractic law, medicine, optometry, osteopathic medicine, podiatry, and theology, which what the fuck?
Like God stuff.
But now how the it's so all those professions were listed. I didn't say nursing.
Hmm.
So now what it says for it defines a professional student as a student enrolled in a program of study that awards a professional degree upon completion of the program. Examples: a professional degree is one that signifies both completion of the academic requirement for beginning practice in a given profession and a level of professional skill beyond what is normally required for a bachelor's degree, and where professional licensure is also generally required, and includes the following degrees. So it doesn't say they basically took that but not limited to portion out. Which I
So
guess the but not limited to portion would be what nurses are. I don't know. So it
You know what
never
I
said
think it might
nurses.
be? What I think it might be is, again, I think it's more focused on masters and graduate.
No, 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 no. Those 10 degrees, that's it. That's it. The way this is
Okay.
worded. Medicine, law, podiatry, optometry, da da da. Those 10 things. Okay, great. Now,
Hmm.
again, so nowhere ever did it even say nursing. So, eh. But also, if you want to take that, whatever you're thinking of in your brain, if you want to take that and say, okay, sure, let's talk about how you're thinking, it still is not affecting nurses at the entry level nursing. So LPNs, RNs, doesn't affect them. Bachelor's degree, ADN, doesn't matter. The bedside nurse is not affected by this at all. What is affected is those that go on to be APs or APRNs, CRNAs, those kind of people. Because those are a master's degree. So well, if you go to be an APRN, you could be a master's or you could get a doctorate, which I think the doctorate level is dumb, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're practically a doctor
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. So
It's
it's going to be have to be and also like it's going to have to be they're going to have to change the wording a little bit because there is a lot of ambiguity in some of the way that these degrees are awarded and whatever. But also if they let's just say they don't. Maybe have you ever had the experience of that nurse that goes to be an NP like and they've been a nurse for 6 months
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that this
because
might
they
be,
can?
yeah.
Can that maybe this will eliminate that because I think that is the most ridiculous thing. You need to like chill. You need to learn how people are how patients are first. Like before there are programs now where you can go. You don't even have to be a nurse. You can go straight to undergrad to MSN. Come out as
Yeah,
have a
and
master's in science of nursing. What the hell?
well,
To me,
like
that's ridiculous.
for instance, I know this girl, she was like the last of the diploma nurses, and she is a fucking rock
Well,
star.
yeah, because
Like,
she's been
you
doing
know,
it forever.
yeah. So maybe this will, because if you want my opinion, um, there's too many NPs and none
They're
of them are.
saturated.
It's saturated. Like personally, I think if I were to go for it, there should be more weight to my going for it because I've been doing it for like going on 10 years,
Yeah, but it
whatever.
doesn't matter.
And, no, no, but what I'm saying is that, like you were saying, these kids that come in, they're like 27 and they're already getting their NP. Man, you gotta have some life experience and mixed in with some of that
Mm-hmm.
shit. I can't nail down why. It just feels like critical thinking. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
life experience,
exactly. You gotta
you
you
gotta be
can't
able to
teach
like
that
take
shit.
risks, and you gotta know what risks to take, and that's where experience comes in.
Hmm. So not
I'm not.
only not only did no one even nursing was never in that fucking definition. So
Uh-huh.
now what they're also changing the structure of student loans. So subsidized, unsubsidized loans they're not going anywhere. They're
Mm-hmm.
getting rid of the direct plus to the parent loan. That's gone. And now there still is a grad plus, but also there's like a professional plus. So there's specifically for master's degrees, kind of, and I'm assuming like things like a PA, because I don't really know what to call that, or like a perfusionist, because they're not really degrees, but
Yeah.
okay. Um, so that kind of person, and then professional degree is in like a doctor degree. So MSN or yeah, Masters of Science and Nurses, which is a majority of NPs can still fall into that professional plus, or sorry, the what do I call it? The grad plus. So that would be a graduate degree. Sorry, I messed that up. So the grad plus is the graduate plus, which is the master's level, and then the professional plus would be like the professional level, like doctors, lawyers, and shit. Which even
I mean,
then, again, it's ambiguous because a Juris Doctorate or a Juris Doctor is not it's a 3 year program. It's not even the same as a bachelor's degree. So I'm just saying, like, it seems a little weird. And you can't tell me a
well,
theology degree is worth the shit its weight in that gold. But so,
No.
and here's the difference. So then now they're taking that whole cost of attendance, that shit's gone. So the cap, and they're capping it. It's going to have for the professional, the top degrees, the cap is a lifetime of $200,000 is all you can borrow, which can be a problem. And then in that graduate level is the lifetime cap is 100,000.
You'd think it'd be a problem, but I know this guy that he just got his NP. He's gonna he's got a job actually. He's smart. He's a little young, but he's got a good head on his shoulders. But he went into this program for his NP where you can take as many classes
Yeah.
as you want in a semester and kill it in like 2 years if you've got the wherewithal to do it. Him, I'm like, good, go you, man, go you. And
Well,
he's gonna be great.
the
But
thing about some of these programs is that you can't work in a lot of them. So like a CRNA, so that's a master's level degree. They
mhm.
specifically tell you in the program that you are not allowed to have a job because you're kind of on call for a lot.
Yeah, for school.
Yeah, so you can't, and it's same thing with like a doctor or like probably in a law school. I don't know. So just for example, so we're going to use that cap. So the cap for a master's level is what I say, $100,000. Okay. Just at Wichita State, the total estimate um for like this is just in-state residents. So you're looking at $14,000 for one semester of a graduate level program. So I
I don't
mean,
think I spent that on my entire education.
well, I mean, I'm just saying it. I don't know. I can see where a lot of people are like, "What the hell?" But it's like, well, they are taking away the fact that you can borrow how what it costs you to live.
Hmm.
Okay, I get that, and I get where that could be hard for some people.
But good.
But you go get a private loan. And also, I know
Well,
that's not possible for everyone. It is going to make it a little bit harder for some people. But some people, maybe not everyone needs to go be an NP.
that's what I was gonna say. And real quick, hello, Alyssa. How are you?
I'm
Hi.
good. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. I'm like kind of trying to keep up with the topic. Are we talking about how they had recently said something about like nursing not being a
Yes,
profession
because
anymore?
we're
Is that what
both
we're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
nurses, so we were talking
yeah.
about that.
about? Okay.
So
Yeah, no, 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 yeah.
to what you were saying, Des, I am again feeling like on my unit of all the nurses I know, I'm definitely the minority in that I'm not going for my NP. And for me, it really comes down to as a regular nurse,
Yep,
I'm I'm
I can
clearing
work.
like
I can
I'm
work
clearing like a buck 30
in a
every
whole
year.
year. I can work like 10 extra shifts and make as much money as a fucking NP, and I
And
don't
you
have the
don't have to worry about
responsibility.
a prescription pad. You don't have to take on any of that.
Mm-mm.
And you know what? When I tell a doctor, here's what I think, they listen.
Yeah,
So by extension, I'm not obviously I'm not a doctor, but they tend to listen. So clearly, what I say matters. I'm making most of the same amount of money, and the doctors know that I care about the patients, and they listen to what I say. And if they disagree, they will make it clear and they'll provide me with a reason.
and
So
you know who's
why
not
go
out
through
there?
all that?
You know who's not out there bitching? This is it. A CRNA, they're not saying anything about this. You want to know why? Because they don't give a shit if the government thinks that they're a profession, the student loan program thinks they're a professional degree, because they're out there making fucking $300,000 a year. They're not giving a shit what you think.
Yeah,
So,
they
I
could lose
mean,
their
Sounds like
job and be okay for a couple years.
I need to look at my career profession choice again.
and I will say,
If you're thinking nurse,
CRNA,
it's still good.
they
Oh
say
yeah,
that
no,
they
I
make
was
bank. But again,
I,
I
I
mean,
definitely feel like with the nursing being a profession, it definitely should be considered a profession. I even
it is
argue
considered a
I even
profession.
well yeah, but they're trying to like they're essentially trying to decredit that from like the nursing degree it seems
It was never worded, nursing was never worded in the definition.
it definitely should be considered a
And
professional degree though, especially I feel like nurses arguably do more work than doctors sometimes. I mean that could be completely
But
wrong.
it doesn't matter. I mean, nursing, the highest bedside, because there's so many levels. So the bedside nurse, what Zeus and I are, that is not that degree is not affected.
Hmm.
And
No, we're
even that,
and
nursing's
Des
always
and
been
I.
considered a trade. I mean, really, I mean,
Well, in our defense, we're actually probably not going to pursue anything further than where we're at
mm-mm,
because of the things that we were talking about. Listen, you might grasp it. If not, ask questions. But for us, it's like, so as a nurse practitioner, that would be the next,
it'd be like an
generally the
NP.
normal step that a nurse would take. Um, you make like maybe 150 a year.
Yeah.
Des and I are probably not making much less than that. And we don't have the worries about writing prescriptions. We don't have a lot of the worries. And as I was saying earlier, we have
I don't have to
a
take
lot
call
of
and I don't have the
say.
liability.
Yeah, and we have a lot of say with the doctors. A lot of people think that like doctors and nurses are like generals and privates, but it's more of a parallel. Like we have our job. We're immediate care assessment, making sure what's going on with the patient. But then we call the doctor and go, much like a soldier in the army, where we're like, this is what we think's happening. We need to attack from this point, and the doctor's like, that makes sense, and then we work together. It's a collaborative thing. It's not
Okay.
a subjugation. We answer to them, but only because they are the resident expert. They know a whole lot about everything, and we are more finite in what we know, and we know a lot.
Specific sections. Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
What
So
what's
it's mostly you
traditionally
professionalize in certain different sections, and nursing overall is like a much broader um
scope?
word.
Scope.
Yes, it's much broader than I guess than what most people perceive, and so therefore, um, I'm so sorry, words are not wording. But it brings it into a better perspective for me now. Because there's obviously different practices when it comes to nursing. You know, there's
Well, like
it's gonna be one of
mine and
those
Dez's.
nights.
No, like mine and Dez's. Dez is a nurse. I am a nurse.
Mhm.
We've had the same training, and we went down different paths.
And we took the
She
same
Mhm.
worked,
professional licensure test.
and the crazy thing is like she would never do what I do, and I would never do what she does. But we
Mhm.
both do a lot of similar things. I can and a lot in Des, I know you'll back me up on this. A lot of nursing and medicine in general isn't so much the tasks, because the tasks are easy to learn. It's the language. When somebody says, this person is tachycardic, immediately, and Des and I know that they have a high heart rate.
Mhm.
If they talk about systolic, diastolic blood pressure, we know where those numbers are on the thing. And these seem like simple things to Des and I, but until you do
It's
it for
for
a
me,
while,
that seems very complicated.
it's real.
It,
It's repetition. And like I said,
And then you
Des,
gotta learn
as
the
far as
slang. So if I was like, I don't know, they're in there attacking away at like 150, their pressure's like fucking 80. Like that doesn't make
it,
any sense to probably it does it probably doesn't even make sense to Zeus, so I don't know. Because
The
that's
and
just
what
closest
would
thing, the closest thing I can really relate to on this, and it's nothing compared to that at all, is when I was doing volunteer firework, we were training to be volunteer EMT EMS. That
mm,
is the closest thing I could even relate on, but aside from that,
there's a
I'm
value
nowhere
in
near on
that.
the same. I'm nowhere near on the same level
I
of
guarantee
understanding.
EMTs save more lives than, well, maybe not
hmm
Des. Des probably has saved quite a few lives, but more than me. And a lot of nurses, the
Mm.
EMTs are badass, but it's a whole different thing. They're like fighter pilots.
Yeah.
We're like nursing mothers. Like it's a different thing. Theirs is more immediate, and they have to
Yeah, we
take
are
care.
we're immediate response. However, you guys are able to actually to treat the situation
I
more
like to think
effectively,
that we
more efficiently.
sustain life. We sustain life. So like patient, I mean, and not so much me. In a way, I am doing that, but it's more from a thought process level, like getting
Hmm.
people out of that dark place where they want to kill themselves, or they're
hmm
talking to themselves, or they're having what we call oh my God, I'm
Crisis.
losing the term. Command hallucinations. Like you have hallucinations, that's like you see a
See legs
bulb,
walking across the highway.
right? But then there's command hallucinations where like the hallucination is saying they're out to get you, kill them. And like that's where I'm a pro.
Hmm.
Des is she's like, fuck all that. I don't want anything to do with that. This person's they're bradycardic, and you give us an example, Des, because I'm gonna sound stupid.
Your heart don't work.
What's that?
Your heart don't work. I mean,
Yeah.
bradycardia doesn't really have anything to do with that. It has to do with like more like ejection fraction and how well your heart pumps out blood, giving you an adequate cardiac output, which therefore provides blood to your tissues and therefore makes you live.
Yeah, you see, you sound like a you when you talk about things, you sound like a doctor to me. My one of my crowning achievements, and you'll love this because I've used it a few times, and everybody looks at me like I'm a fucking maniac when I do it. But we've had a few times, and I do not want to give a catheter. So the genesis of this is not laziness. I just don't want to touch somebody else's parts. But I'll do it if I have to. I just haven't had to because we get a lot of times the patients are super, super anxious and they can't pee. I'm like, go get a bucket of water and dump some ice in it. And it's the old prank that you used to, I don't know if you guys did, but the old prank that we used to play on our friends when they passed out drunk is you put their hand in a bucket of
Put
ice
it
Hmm.
in warm water.
and or warm water, yeah, warm water, I'm sorry. And they pee themselves because of the
I've done
sensation.
this a few times.
But the other part of this is even if it's all nonsense from a psychosomatic standpoint, you telling them that if you put your hands in this warm water, you're going to pee, it takes some of the onus off them. That's my feeling on. I think part of the time it works because it works, and part of the time
A lot of times just
they
psych out.
right, exactly.
Just
But
like,
it
"Hey,
has worked, and
I'm gonna have
people
to
are
place a catheter on you if you don't pee. Oh shit, I better pee.
though I don't think that's nearly as effective as them thinking is going to make them pee, and who knows, and maybe it's a placebo.
So what you're more so good at is the psychological or behavioral aspect, and
Oh
then
yeah, that's
what
my
Des
jam.
is really good at is well, cardiac, right? Cardiovascular or
Yeah.
organ,
Yeah,
right?
she's
Okay.
like one of the only people that does what she does around, right? Like you're
Hmm.
pretty specified.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is what I'd
So
like to call a badass nurse. Like
Yeah.
I'm never gonna live up to what she does as a nurse, and
Yeah.
and that I firmly feel. I just don't have that grasp of medicine like she does, and but she would never do my job. But that's
Hmm.
because she has a short temper
Yeah.
and
And no
lack of
patience.
patience. I
What
am
I
yeah, I
do,
don't have
that's
the patience for people either. I'm just like,
see
shut up, get in. Shh.
I know, and I
that's
feel
my
Push to the
bad
strength.
too. I
hospital.
know, and I feel bad, but
As you get to know me, you'll find that my resilience is immense. Like I go through I some of it I do to myself, but regardless, generally whatever happens to me is not necessarily just, and I just water on a duck's back. So that's where it works well with psych nursing. I will have somebody trying to kick me in the face one day, and the next day I go up and give them a bro hug. It's just how I'm built. But it's also because I could pound them if I needed to. So why am I going to do
Yeah,
that?
I'm sure you're trained to be able to handle certain situations should, a
I think
patient.
it's see in psych again, psych nursing, and this is where I'll claim a little, get a little street cred is I think you're made for it or you're not. There's psych nursing, and Des will probably agree just from her limited experience, though, psych nursing is really it's a lot of theoretical, it's a lot of bouncing a lot of ideas until you find the one that's right. Knowing the
no,
diagnose.
it's just a geodon. That's the answer. Give me the
Gideon
Zyprexa.
helps. Thorazine's a badass. I have a lot of
What I do, Alyssa, is run something. Well, this is not the only thing I do, but one of the special things that I do is I run something called ECMO, so extracorporeal membrane oxygenation. What it is like it's the highest form of life support you can get. They shove
Mm.
two tubes into your body, one in your vein, one in your artery, and it takes the blood out, puts oxygen in it, puts the blood back into your heart. It bypasses
So
your
it
lung and your
oxygenate.
hearts.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it
so
just keeps the blood flow with oxygen.
but if your heart does not
Um,
work, then you need
Then the
something
ECMO's
to do
doing it.
that,
oh yeah.
which is
No,
what ECMO does.
I had a buddy who was born with half a heart, and he tells
Mhm.
me stories about all of his medical visits all the time. I love him to death, but
Yeah, he was
um,
probably put on ECMO shortly after he was born.
yeah, he's told me stories about it. He
Oh.
definitely it surprises me, and I'm so thankful for the nurses that handle his condition with how rare it is. But it definitely cannot be easy to, especially with conditions that are more on the rare side, to have to figure out how to treat or stabilize these conditions when there's already so little known about them as is, or they're so rarely surfaced that there isn't like a protocol for them. And
Yeah,
he expressed this to me often because most of his treatments is just labs and tests to try to figure out how they can get his heart to remain stable, how they can, keep the half that works, or even to get him on a transplant list for donor. Like I even told him straight up, I was like, I know I ride motorcycles, so if I ever wreck, I'm giving you my heart. I just want you to know if it's healthy enough, it's going to you. But it's like it just kind
we
of
should do a show
blows
about
my
organ
mind.
donation. Anyway,
I'm sorry,
It
what'd you
just
say,
kind
Des?
of
so we should do a show about organ donation.
That's a good one.
that would be fun. Um, but yeah, definitely. I feel like nurses in general don't get enough credit for the amount of work and effort and even exhaustion that they kind of sacrifice towards their profession, towards their job, and towards taking care of other people. So
So
I definitely do think it should definitely be, what's the
it
word?
should definitely be a profession. It shouldn't
It
even be
is.
argued.
It is a
Yes.
profession.
I
This
know,
is
I
all
know.
having to do with how the student loan company program
But and again, Des,
funds it.
I understand what
We are not in trouble. We're
no,
fine.
I understand what you're saying, but I feel like this the statement, and I am still happy that he's president and all that.
Nobody said it. He didn't even say that.
I
He
know
didn't
it's
even say
Department of
anything.
Education. I
No,
am,
yeah, I mean, but no, like
but
he didn't
When
even.
has the Department of Education ever been reliable? The Department of Education is so flawed and so corrupt. I really think they need a big reboot and to flesh out
or to
like
not
even.
exist, to just let education be education.
Mhm.
Um, my thing is, and I know I said it, Des, and you bulk at it, but you at least should. I think you understand where I'm coming from. Is that where whoever made the statement, whatever the statement was.
TikTok people made the statement. Again, you didn't read the whole article, so they just fucking said some shit.
But my point is that even though it's out there now that nurses are less than to a certain group of people, whoever it is, and I just don't like that. I don't like the fact that that could snowball into nurses really are less than. I don't think it'll happen. I don't like the possibility of it happening.
Well, here's the other
Because
thing. It shouldn't cost $75,000 to go get a nurse practitioner degree.
I've never even seen $75,000 in my life. I've never seen more than 2 grand at a time in my life.
So there's that too. But why is it like that? Well, because colleges know that they can charge that because previous up until going to be July 1st, they could charge how much ever the fuck they wanted to because it didn't matter because you could borrow that much money.
mm-hmm.
So now that you
And
can't, maybe they'll lower that. Maybe if things will become a little bit more affordable. That might be a pipe dream, but
well, and
maybe.
Des,
You can only wish.
I think Des, you did the same as I did. You paid your way through,
No, I
got
didn't. I have student loans out the ass.
oh, see, I went to Northern Virginia Community College, which is actually it's funny because they're a community college, but they're bordering on being accredited because their nurses, you got George Mason, George Washington University, um, several. I mean, we're in the heart of a lot of really good schools, and the nurses they pick up first are the ones from Northern Virginia Community College. And then I got my bachelor's online, and I was an antagonist on that. You'll like this, Alyssa. Every paper that I wrote, I went to a Christian university, right? And every paper I wrote was on legalizing marijuana. I don't smoke,
You don't
but
need to. There's so
but the
many benefits that
logic,
come from it.
but there's sound logic to it. And I also
Mhm.
wrote about how bad it can be for some people, like people that are prone to schizophrenia, things like that. But anyway, I probably spent $20,000 for school altogether and doubled my income. And I'm not saying I'm rich. I'm far from it, but
But you're
I don't
stable.
have to worry about paying bills. If I lost my job, I could probably go 3, 4 months without worrying it. Things would be tight, but as you said with the 2000, never having seen more than 2000 at a time, I was paycheck to paycheck until I was like 45, and then
Mm,
boom, you get into nursing, and 5 years into it, you're clearing 100
I think
on a
it's the
bad.
years, honestly. The years is what really does it, because
Yeah,
well,
but
even
I mean,
like I grew up in a lesser fortunate situation. I mean, I remember when my father and his previous wife first started like getting an apartment, we were sharing one room with a inflatable bed. Now he has this massive house with like 7 bedrooms. There's a family of like 12 in there. And you know, and it's like he's living the good life. He's living comfortably, right? It's it definitely takes time to build up to that, but it can be done. I mean, my dad never really did college or anything. He worked for a company for over a decade, and they ended up screwing him over in the ass. No surprise there. But it's it just takes a lot of hard work to actually get to a point
and
where you can live comfortably.
the interesting thing about what you just said, and Des, I think, well, first of all, I wanted to mention that I think Des is really fortunate, and part of it's fortunate, part of it is she's got a drive that I
He
have
has the
learned
skill.
later in life,
Yeah.
but she, at a younger age, um, got into nursing, got good at it, and now she pretty much won't have to worry about a career anymore as long as she wants to stay in nursing. If she doesn't want to stay in nursing, that's a whole thing, a whole nother thing. But she's got a solid career that, say she wanted to go into law or accounting or whatever, she can fall back on this, go take her NCLEX, hop back in, and be right back in the game.
Yeah.
Um, I started later. Now I am bearing the fruits of my labor at this point, but more what I wanted to get at is like you were talking about the work that's involved, and really in the long run, nursing is a great example of you put in what really is probably a minimal amount of work in when I'm talking about the schooling to have a maximum impact on your life. Like your income drastically changed once you became a nurse, right, Des?
hmm
Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
life
I'm a
changing.
different story, but yes, we'll just say yeah.
Yeah. For me, it was life changing. I went from how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? How am I going to do this to you want meta glasses, son? Sure, because I can afford it. I don't have to think about it. I know that even if I overextend myself a little bit now, next week I'm gonna, pop a sizable chunk of change into my accounts. Um,
Mm.
I did want to ask you, so from a layperson, what is your experience with nurses? Have you ever been hospitalized for anything?
I've been in and out of the hospital a few times, and my mom is a vet technician. That's an animal nurse, I guess. I've kind of grown up around nursing, indirectly or directly, either way. I was
Hmm.
born a preemie baby. The first real experience I had having to go to the hospital was malnutrition when I was like 8. I stayed there for a few days. Nurses were really nice, but they kept professional. They have like a professional detachment while at the same time trying to be, you know, nice, right?
Mhm.
So I've had some experiences again with nurses, but I wouldn't say I've had as much as other people may have. Um, the closest thing I can say of consistency when it comes to being, like I said, my mom's a vet technician. You know, she dresses in the scrubs, she works with animals all day, she does surgeries, she does all
She
that
can't
stuff.
treat you. You know
Um,
that, right?
huh?
I said she can't treat you. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, again, that's the closest thing I probably have in relation to that. Aside from personal experiences, you know, being hospitalized. I mean, my body had a bad reaction to Plan B when I was like 15 that my stepmother made me take. And I was hospitalized the very next day, and there was a nurse there. She was really cool. She was very sweet. But the biggest thing when it comes to nurses and in my experiences is I am horribly terrified of needles. I've
Ah,
had four nurses hold me down at once just to draw blood.
see,
So I don't have the greatest experiences with nurses, only because I'm terrified of needles. I have
but
a
it's not
really
because
bad
of
phobia.
them. It's because of your own.
It's because of my own experiences growing up. Like I've always had to be held down when it comes to needles since I was a little kid. And the fact of the matter was I had a lot of blood drawn growing up. I had to have a lot of blood taken um out of concern for my height, for my health, for, um all these things. And they would run a lot of tests. I wasn't always aware of what these tests were, but I was told, which I don't think it's true, but I was told that these tests were to see if my bone growth could eventually catch up or if there was some sort of hormone boost or some tests they were running because my bone
You,
growth is 2 years behind.
you seem
Um,
normal. You seem normal size when I met you.
I'm 4'9".
You're 4'9". Wow. You know, you're
Yeah,
like
I was wearing
1 inch
heels.
away from being a dwarf.
I hear that all the time. They're like, you're like legally, technically a midget, and I'm like,
You're practically Tyrion Lannister.
I don't
You
know who that
four
is.
foot nine?
Who is that?
I don't
Who?
care. I would have not thought you
Well,
four
yeah,
foot
no.
nine. You seem taller. You're wearing taller
I
clothes.
was definitely wearing heels.
Okay.
You will never not see me wearing some sort of heels. The boots I was wearing had like 2-inch heels, so that it was probably would have boosted me to 5 foot, maybe 5'1" on a good day. But aside from that, yeah, I'm definitely a lot smaller than a lot of people realize.
You're a little
And
person.
so I, I'm pocket sized, travel sized.
Bite size. Um, yeah, so
So,
like
oh,
it's very, it's very interesting. In Des, um, how do you feel your bedside manner is?
oh, people love me.
I feel like my bedside manner is pretty good too, but I've had some horrible. Now this is hospital, but you'd think that if you make it a hospital, you're probably better at bedside manner. But I remember one time I had bursitis, which is you have this little this is for Alyssa. You have this little sac that's in your elbow that keeps the bones from like rubbing against each other. And
Cartilage, like a cartilage.
no, it's
No?
like literally like a little sack of fluid. Is
Yeah,
that a
Okay.
fair
synovial
assessment?
fluid. Um,
And
mm,
bursitis, anytime you add itis to something, it means inflammation. So I got inflammation in that, and
of the lining of the sac that holds the fluid.
yeah.
Very, very
So
crazy, specific.
so so long story short, I ended up getting a cholelithasis, which is a gallstone.
Is that how you say
And
that?
what's that?
Say that again.
Cholelithasis?
Is that really how you say that?
I think
That's
so.
not how I say it, but I don't know if it's right.
How do you say
I
it?
say cholelithiasis.
Maybe.
Again,
Maybe.
I don't think that's
I
That
right.
don't
sounds more sciencey
I only
accurate,
looked
but
at the word like
I
twice.
also have no idea.
Or just chole.
But so anyway, that aggravated everything else. Like my whole like biodome body thing was all screwy, and I had to have my gallbladder removed, and they this is a long story, but it's worth it. Um, so they take out the gallbladder, and what's left behind is what's called a fossa, which is like just an open space in your body where something was. or something should be.
Mhm.
Sometimes you get them in your ears when you're a baby. If you get like an infection, it fills that fossa with stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they had to drill through my liver to put in a what's called a JP shunt, right?
Drain.
Des?
Just drain. JP drain.
JP drain. And what that does is they drill through your liver and they put this tube up into where the fossa is, and it sucks out all because what's causing the problem is the pus is dripping in there
It's
in this
gross.
I'm
slit.
more familiar with these when, especially with the abscesses, they'll sometimes put it in there so it
That's
drains
Yeah,
basically what
properly.
it is. It's an abscess, but near your
near where
gallbladder. It's
my
pretty
gallbladder is.
gross.
So long story short, and I'm not a super rugged guy, but I'm pretty tough. And so I get out of this where they're drilling through my liver, and I'm like, get the fuck, like I'm swinging. And then this nurse, I'm just exhausted and depressed by the pain and all this. And I go to get a hug, and she's like, "Oh no, I don't do that." And I was like, "Yeah, some of y'all can be bitches too." She was the coldest bitch I've ever met, and
There's definitely been a few nurses that are like no bullshit nurses, like
that's the
lay the fuck
facts.
down, I'm gonna knock your ass out. I've definitely seen a few of those nurses with other mutual family friends who may or may not have been doing something stupid to land them in the hospital in the first place. But these nurses will straight up be like, all right, lay down, let me do what I gotta do. Not here to socialize. You chill and do, you just behave and we won't have no problems, right? There I have come across maybe three mean nurses ever in my entire life. And the first one was the first time I was getting vaccinated before I could go into school. I don't know if everyone remembers that like I do, but there was this big burly like woman nurse that came in after this like cute like sweet little petite nurse just couldn't get the syringe in. This woman full on like held my arms like this and she just held me down. She's like, you're gonna sit here, you're gonna finish this up, you can get a sticker, and you can go home.
You
And
can
I'm
get a
like,
damn
I
sticker and
don't
a
want
lollipop if you don't
to.
move.
Right. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't
it
I
better
don't think
be
you're gonna find
this
that as
sticker better be
much.
my favorite Disney princess or I'm leaving.
And then they'll
Like,
give
Um,
you a fucking pink band-aid if you don't scream.
I don't think you're gonna see that as much in a hospital situation. You will see the cold, non-emotional ones, but like holding you down, that's gonna
that was
cause some problems.
terrifying. I feel like that's like most of my nurse or hospital experiences was always somebody needing to hold me down. Like if I'll be like on the floor fainting, vomiting, whatever, and I will refuse to go to the hospital because I'm so scared. That and I kind of don't have any medical insurance right now. But that I digress. That's aside from the point. The point is hospitals are a little scary, just a little bit. Um, but it definitely helps when the nurses there have a good attitude about it when they treat you, and at the same time socialize with you. Because not only are you're obviously scared, you're stressed when you're at a hospital. It's never a good reason to be at a hospital. It helps when the
No, that's where
nurses
all the sick people are.
socialize and in yeah, well yeah. But it helps when the nurses socialize and interact with you and kind of distract you from everything else going on. And it makes you realize, they're not just there as a profession, but they're also people. It's the same concept like when I'm interacting with police officers and they have to keep professional, but every now and then you get aside from that profession, you're able to talk with them one on one, kind of connect, and you're like, wow, these guys are really cool, actually. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
it,
we're
I
it's
don't
cool.
I have many bad experiences with police officers, but I don't hate them on any level. In fact, I think they do a lot of things that they don't want to do, but
Well, I
are
mhm.
mean,
forced to.
usually when you come into contact with me, it's because you broke the law.
Right. I mean, I get
Even
it.
though they should just look the other way on most of them, but I
My
don't know.
favorite my favorite thing to do because on my unit, Des probably doesn't see us as often, but you guys will appreciate this. So we have a lot of patients that are brought in by the police because they were like in the mall jerking off or whatever, and and they'll bring them in, and every time I'm like super cool with the cops, and as they leave, I'm like, "If you ever see this face speeding, remember where you met me,"
Yeah,
and they're
right.
like. They're never gonna remember me, but I'm throwing it out there just in case. Um,
So, yeah. To wrap it up, this has to do with financial aid, not nurses as a profession. Everyone needs to chill the fuck out. And
yeah.
maybe, hopefully, it'll make shit cost less, and then we won't have oversaturation of NPs that don't need to be NPs. Maybe.
And exactly, that's the other way I was going with it. This could, like, if it diminishes our professionalism, that's a bothersome thing. But I did
It's
look
not
at it
going
from the
to.
other end. I know. I did look at it from your aspect of I don't need to hear about another person getting an NP and I have to fucking, for instance, we have this one guy, he's an NP in the hospital I work at, and he literally tried to give CPR to somebody that did not need CPR. And that's where
I
it
could see how
bothers
you
me.
get confused.
What's that?
CPR is
I
so
could get how you
rare.
see
I've
how
only
you
had to
could get
give it out
confused.
3 times. I've only ever had to do CPR 3 times.
I've
Oh,
only
I had
done
to
it
do it the
I,
other
once, and
I
I'm
day.
a
used to be a
nurse.
lifeguard. Yeah, it's needing to do CPR, at least in the line of profession that I was doing as a lifeguard before somebody bought out the water park and got me laid off. Anyways, I've only ever had to do CPR 3 times. It's a good skill to have, and I think that they should definitely teach it in schools. But you got to know what you're doing if you're gonna do CPR. The first thing they tell you to do is check.
Yeah.
You watch the chest, you take in the breaths, count like what 1, 2, 3 Mississippi, something like that. If the chest is not rising and falling by the time you're done, oh, it was 1/1000th.
Pulse
Chest
check,
Anyways,
pulse check,
obstruction.
pulse check,
yeah.
pulse check.
Pulse check, breathing check. If you can't see the chest rising and falling, you should
Not,
first go
it's
for
not even
pulse.
breathing. You can look like you're breathing, you ain't breathing. Just,
Yeah.
you,
Could be just
Well,
liquids, just kind of.
and to this point also, and Des, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you give CPR to somebody that does not need CPR,
they're gonna reach
you
up and
can
touch
cause
you.
them to you
Oh, you
can
ain't gonna get very far with it.
you can do damage though, can't
Yeah,
you?
but you're not gonna get
You
very
can
far.
break ribs. You can do all these things. You could definitely break ribs.
I mean, it's not
I've
gonna kill them. I mean,
been
but
Nobody cares about
the
nobody, you know
first
what? Anybody
the
giving
first
CPR
compression
doesn't
that you do, you're gonna get two compressions in before you're done because they're gonna reach up and grab you. It doesn't matter how
what
unconscious
the
they are because if
freak?
they're just a little bit like if they're I mean if they're
Yeah, I mean, I
completely
could do
fucking
this to
dead,
someone. It hurts, but they're
most of
gonna
the
be
time that
conscious
will
after.
yeah, that'll get him.
Yeah,
But
they'll
wow,
be like,
you know
and if
what?
that doesn't get
"What?"
him, you do one compression and they're up.
I'm impressed that she did a sternal rub there because that's one
I was
that
a
flips a
lifeguard.
lot
It
of
was
people.
they trained
Yeah.
us to do this when I was a
Oh yeah,
lifeguard. They were
sternal
like,
rub,
always
and then
check this.
also the pinch right here, pinch
Oh
them right
yeah,
here under the armpit. That fucking hurts.
Yeah,
Or
it's
you take a
sternal rub.
pin and hit their nail beds with like you nail bed pressure. Ooh, that shit sucks.
I can just imagine that sensation because I do sewing. Like I can imagine like a nail going in between.
So
Ugh.
I only gave CPR once, and this is the creepy thing about it. She was dead already,
Mm.
but you keep giving CPR until the EMTs get there, and then you're
Mhm.
like, it's all you. And I was crack, crack, crack. I was like,
Until like all you feel is the mush and squish and everything moving
well,
in there
no,
because
but
you're
I mean,
broken things.
honest, first of all, most people that get CPR don't live. Like if you got to that point, generally speaking, if their heart stopped, the odds of them surviving it are better than you not doing CPR. But
But
the
they're still kind of
to
on the
what de
lower end.
nah, to what de yeah, to what degree it is better, it's not very big.
It's not as effective as they kind of play it out to be.
I think even an AFib or what do you call it? Defibrillator.
Defibrillator.
I think it's in the same thing. And once
No,
your heart
if you
stops,
need
Well,
if your
defibrillator
heart's
is definitely.
if your
Sorry.
heart stopped because of a an arrhythmia or a
yeah.
dysrhythmia or a lethal rhythm, however you want to say, VFib, VTAC, then you can shock them out of that and then it would get as long as they're not down for a
Fair
very
enough,
long
but
time.
still, once you go into cardiac arrest, your odds are severely diminished of
They
coming out of it.
drastically start slipping every second that you're under. Like the odds of bringing them back, thins and lessens the longer it takes to actually revive.
So
And that's the biggest thing with the defibrillator is when we would do
I'm
our CPR at the water park, we would have to start CPR as people were actively getting the defibrillator out. Like we couldn't wait so many times. We did chest compressions before they finally brought a
not
defibrillator
to
out. And that
mention
shit
you're
was
in a
right away.
place covered in water, which
Yeah.
is not a good.
Well, yeah, because
But
what they taught us was to rub people down with a towel, shave the area, pop the defibrillator
You know,
on, and
shit, you want to
make
know how you
sure they're
shave
not
that
in the
area?
tunnel.
like
Sticker, pull
we
sticker.
had we had four lifeguards on one victim at a time. We had two people doing chest compressions, one per like switching out between
That's
oxygen
an
and the
optimal
compressions.
situation.
But we had a system though. Two people were doing compressions. One person was getting oxygen hooked up to a mask. Another person was getting the defibrillator. That's how it was. And whoever was done with what first, either the defibrillator or the oxygen, they were drying somebody off, shaving, and then we were putting that shit on, and somebody
So
was going to be electrified.
I'm gonna quiz you
Like,
on something, Alyssa.
okay, I'm a little rusty, but go
So
for it.
so you're giving breaths and you're giving compressions. Which
Mhm.
in the short term is the most important?
Um, I would say compressions were the
Yep.
most important to keep the heart pumping because the moment to try to keep the
Well, there's more to
y-
it than that. Your blood holds about, I would say, what, Des, would you say like 10 minutes worth of you can keep it pumping and they're getting oxygen to the brain?
It
Des is
depends, but
gonna
most of the time you
give
have a
away more.
reserve of oxygen in your blood. Most of the time.
mm,
Yeah, so the compressions are far more important than the breathing. The breathing is, of course, important. If you can oxygenate and do that, then do it. But like with this lady, she was big. She was a husk when I got to her. I was
She's
just
gone,
doing
gone.
it to follow the rules. What's that?
She was gone, gone. That's when you just don't do it very hard. You're just like, well, okay,
Well, yeah, I
one,
was like
two.
I was like 6 months into being a nurse. I was like, "Rrr, rrr." And if you don't hurt
yeah,
that
the whole
person,
time
you
you
weren't
got
doing
this
your
dead
job.
person laying in front of you. Meanwhile, the song "Staying Alive" is pumping in your head because that's what they trained you to listen to while doing chest
Yeah.
compressions. Like this is
um,
terrible. This is a terrible song. It works, but it's so bad for the situation. If you're doing compressions and in your head is staying alive, like this is just so bad.
yeah,
Eh,
but
just
if
pick
you're
a different
singing
song.
while you do that, you better hope the family's not around. She was singing.
Mm.
She's
Yeah,
a
she was saying
monster.
singing alive to her dead relatives. Like this is so fucked up, bro.
So, Des,
It's
do
Mm.
we want to
funny,
go
but
into a
it's
Yeah, I was
little
gonna
bit
say
of,
let's wrap that topic up.
yeah, let's
Okay,
talk about what
so
we were going to
this
talk
is the
about.
thing. So last what how many ever weeks ago now? Jack brought up the topic of Hawkeye brought up the topic of things that we do now that are gonna be seen as dumb in 10 years, aka trends that are gonna go out of style. So I made a list of things that I think are not gonna be stupid in 10 years. Most of them are
right.
fashion things because I feel like that's the big thing. Like, last episode we talked about TV commercials and the fact that, so we can start there. TV commercials, those are almost a thing of the past. But even ads just for products, on YouTube or whatever, I think it's all gonna go to influencer based ad stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, so whatever they think is cool, everybody else is going to think
Well,
is
I mean,
cool.
a lot of like, inadvertent, not inadvertent, I don't know the word I'm trying to think of, but ads for stuff that where you don't think it's an ad. Like for example, you're watching something about like you're watching The Real Housewives and everyone in The Real Housewives is brushing their teeth and they're all using Colgate or whatever. Like that, like
Oh, like they made fun of it in Wayne's World where they'd be like, "Here, have some Advil, little yellow safe, whatever it was." But like that, I get what you're saying.
yeah, like I think really that's gonna be what marketing is gonna go to. Just
Yeah, and it actually makes a lot of sense.
I
It's
mean
going to hit you the core group that you want to hit, far more directed. Yeah. Um, yeah. There's so many things like the way they like if you look at an old like 1950s commercial, you got a doctor in the hospital with his foot up on a box, smoking a cigarette, talking to the patient about how they need to pay attention to their health. Like, yeah, there's a lot of things that we can look at back back in the past that were just ludicrous.
So influencer
Alestrum,
marketing,
remember
that's
that?
where I think we're gonna, huh?
Alestrum. I think that's what. No, I forget what it's called, but there was this for a while. There was this stuff they were putting in chips that you could eat it and you would lose weight, but you were like
Oh,
shitting
yeah, it's
water.
like oil, but it's like different.
Yeah, yeah.
Oil that's not oil,
Oh,
diet
look at the
oil.
bunny.
Funny. I'm allergic to rabbits.
I'm allergic
Really
to his
weird.
hay, but he likes to be all up in my personal space.
You know what? Maybe that's what I'm allergic to. Shit.
Rabbits?
Wow, dude, your
No.
nails.
mm, Well,
I'm allergic to his hay. I have to wear long sleeves and the whole nine when I'm
well, I found
getting
this out
sick.
because we went to the 4-H building at the state fair one time and it was like bunny day or whatever. And so then I had a huge allergic reaction. I was like, well, maybe I'm allergic to rabbits. But maybe it's the hay. Anyway,
It definitely was the hay for me. I thought it was him for a time, but then I realized I was like, hey, I'm also allergic to pollen, UV rays, and what? Cold urticaria. So I'm allergic to a lot of weird things. Animals have never been one of them. So I was like, let's test this theory. I put him all up in my face. I cuddled him for like an hour, nothing. The moment I touched his hay, I broke out in hives. I'm like,
hmm.
yeah, that would probably be it.
Yeah,
What are you
huh.
doing?
Anyway. Okay,
So
so
let's
here's my number two thing. Gender reveal parties.
Oh, they're so stupid.
Stupid. I get the sentiment. But
No, the ones that I do like
why?
is where you got and I'm not trying to be racist, but they're just funny, is when you got like the white husband, the white wife, and then the black guy over to the left, and then they do the gender reveal and the smoke comes out black and he like creeps off to the side.
Oh, well,
I feel
that's
like I've seen a
jokes.
few of those. Those are kind of funny.
They're
Those are
pretty
But
funny.
jokes.
I feel like if you already are having a baby shower, you do not also need a gender reveal party. I mean, you could just knock two birds out with one. Do you mind? You could pop. Go away.
Well, the reason that you wouldn't knock two birds out with one stone is because if you didn't know the gender of the baby, then you don't know what to bring for the baby. Unless you're just bringing like yellow, green shit or gray shit or like just which okay,
Just
or stuff with
Well,
neutral
animals
was
on it.
that
colors.
was that causing any harm in the past? It's like doesn't really matter. Green and
Which I
yellow.
guess I
Good.
guess there are people that never know the gender and they're like, "Well, surprise me." Which I could never do that, man. But and they do
I
really
did that with
do
both my boys. We didn't know.
really
We didn't know. Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
I couldn't shit. Anyway, what the first time they put that little probe on my belly, it was like penis. Yeah. So I don't know. I
Wait,
think they're just a little bit
Bougie.
just a
why? It
little
gives
overrated.
what the fuck? Why do
I
we
think
need it's
well,
like why do we need this? We don't
I
need
think
this.
it I think it's more like, and again, I'll use the term again. I think it's very much of a bougie thing. It's like
Yes.
I want to capitalize as much as I can. I don't want to have girl gifts if I have a boy. I don't want to have to return things. Da, da, da. It's all
Which you
about
still do. So
yeah, but you feel where I'm coming from with that. I think it's more about like a I don't want this baby to be any more of an inconvenience than it already is kind of.
well, I just think it's just an excuse to have a party, which you don't need to get confetti can. You don't need to, because first of all, I think it's cool, but I sometimes I don't know who it's for. Is it for everybody at the party or is it for the parents? Who's getting
I think it's for the
surprised?
parents.
Because if that's the case, then I can just tell you, and you can record me telling you.
Yeah.
I I don't know. I don't know. I'm
It
just
feels
like
a little overcomplicated.
I feel the
it's
same
just
way about weddings. Weddings to me are so antiquated. Like you spend sixty
they're
thousand
getting
dollars
that way.
on a
Wedding
wedding.
culture.
Yeah, like you spend $60,000 on a wedding when, hey, you know what? Instead of spending all that money on that, maybe I put a down payment on a house, which is more important than this festivity that happens. My buddy, I bust his chops all about it all the time. He had a wedding at the University of Pittsburgh and it was like $60,000. And I'm like, are you? And I know this guy. I love him to death. He's a great guy. And I'm like, are you fucking nuts? Like, I'm just like, $60,000. It was in the church there on the campus. It was just like I would not be able to live with myself if I spent that kind of money.
Well,
Maybe something.
we spent $34,000 on our wedding, and that was fine. I don't
I mean,
really know how much. I mean, I don't really know how much. I don't know really how you can spend more than 40 grand on a wedding. I really just don't, unless you're really just going over it. Like, damn. Anyway,
I mean,
that's a different
there's
topic.
there's there's
Well,
something to be
even
said
like
for the money that you have available, and if you can afford it, then fine. But I'm never gonna really think that that expenditure is valuable. It's a show,
Well,
and
it
it's
is.
a
And
very
but you know what?
expensive.
For me, it was worth it. So, because I
Sure.
got, because I mean, and it's different girls. We think about that shit like for our
Yeah,
whole
I'm sure
lives.
Craig was like, all right.
Yeah, he was just like,
I didn't even
sure.
consider marriage up until recently, and I know my partner and I have been talking about it, and I told him I was like, financially, it would be smarter just to get legally married, like just get the certificate, and then maybe we can have a
Right back
celebration
later.
down the line when we're more um stable,
Yeah, but
when
you're
we
not
can
going
afford it.
to. I mean, and that I'm not trying to be negative, but people say that all the time and they don't do it.
Probably. I don't know,
Or
but
you could like
oh,
have a destination wedding. Those are nice and fairly inexpensive.
I told him, I said, I simply want a dress, nothing too crazy, nothing too flamboyant, nothing expensive. I want to go down to the beach. I live on the beach. I just walk there. I just walk there.
Hmm.
I don't want anything expensive. I want a small gathering, maybe Chick-fil-A for catering at most. Like nothing crazy expensive, nothing more expensive than, say, the high school prom that I went to. It was shitty, but it wasn't expensive. That's the thing.
Hmm.
Um, Oh yeah, that did remind me on the conversation with the baby shower. So I guess technically, if a woman gives birth to a boy, does that technically mean she's grown a pair?
Yeah, she did.
I love bringing that up in conversations and people are like, "Wait, where do you find the time to think about this?" So I'm like, "These are just shower thoughts. You should see."
She did grow a pair, a non-permanent pair. But she
Ugh.
grew it for his future use. There you go. Grew a pair for future use. But yeah, I
Yeah,
just
she
don't
grows
get
a
it.
pair,
Like
she'll grow in a pair.
I never had it. I mean, this was not a thing when I had my child, gender reveal parties. Like that wasn't, I didn't even, that was not even a concept. So I don't
I
know.
mean,
I don't know
I
where this
know
came from
my
and it needs to end.
wealthier family, the wealthier side of my family definitely does do gender reveal parties. I kind of thought they were a bit much,
It's just extra.
personally. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's nice to have an excuse to celebrate and gather and to get a bunch of free shit for your kid, because especially diapers, I hear those are the first thing you go through. But I just feel like it's a bit much. I mean, once the baby's born, maybe there could be something like, huh, family helps out, give gifts. I get that's the point of like a gender reveal party, but most of what you get in a gender reveal party is clothing and diapers.
Well, I don't even know that I've never actually been to a gender reveal party because I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But I don't know that maybe you might bring diapers or something to the
Oh yeah, no,
reveal
like
party.
that's
I don't
the
know.
biggest thing
But
with gender reveal parties
then
was
you
the gifts.
additionally have a baby shower.
Yeah.
So that's where you bring gifts. So I don't know what the hell. I don't know. But
I definitely would say, yeah, I agree. If you have a baby shower, you already are set up. Just bring gifts at the baby shower. If you don't know the gender, that's not a big deal. You don't need to bring clothes. But just bring diapers, bring the essentials like toys, diapers, blankets, things that'll help the parents out financially when they're first starting out. Because baby
bottles.
clothing, it's that I went and bought some as a gag, and I'm like, wow, this is surprisingly affordable from Walmart. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's affordable. And you know what?
yeah,
Every parent is different. A lot of times people get baby clothes for somebody and they don't even like them and they never put their kid in them or they grow out of them so fast.
yeah,
So it's hard to get clothes. But I don't necessarily mind on the gender reveal thing if it's like the couple and their family got together and then somebody on the phone recorded the couple like with the confetti cannon. I don't
yeah.
necessarily mind that. I think
Like
that's
that's yeah,
okay.
that's something small, it's simple, but it doesn't need to be overly flashy,
We
and
don't need to have a
everyone doesn't
party.
need to be all up in the business. Like it's I think it's a little overdone, personally. I think there could be other celebrations instead. um, in regards to having a child, but I don't think a gender reveal is quite necessary as people make it seem. Like the
That's
biggest thing with me when I am going to have my kids is a lot of people are like, "Are you going to do a gender reveal?" Like they're already asking me all these questions. I
Yeah,
don't need to do a gender reveal party, and frankly, I don't think anyone needs to know the baby's
well, I
gender
mean,
aside from husband and myself. Like it'll happen eventually, and it'll happen when it happens, but nobody
and it's
needs to know.
inevitable. You can't change it.
Yeah,
It's
so why there's no reason to really bring that much attention to it when again inevitably everyone's going to know about it and nobody's going to care. Like you don't see when you don't see, years later down the line when you're an adult. You don't see adults doing that shit. Or like even for the trans community, you don't see a like a gender swap celebration. It's a boy now.
a coming
Like
out party.
it
Yeah,
doesn't.
yeah, I don't get it. But where was I going with that? Shit, I don't know where I was going with that.
I'm sorry, that might be my fault.
That's all right. I just lost that thought, but that's fine.
we do
Okay, so
tangents, don't worry.
next thing. Okay, sorry, I remember what I was gonna say. I just think,
Huh?
we're gonna think that it's gonna go, it's not gonna be a thing in 10 years because it's gonna fall under this next category, which is overconsumption. My dear
Okay.
God, have you seen the the collections of shit that people have? For example, Bath and Body Works things, True
That's
Hut
ridiculous.
scrubs, those fucking Touchland hand sanitizers. Or what, it doesn't matter what it is, but there are people, which I don't know, I don't know if it's for show or if it's just if it's for social media or if it's actually happening, but this trend of like buying every single item in the line of things, it's ridiculous.
It's
Nobody
like
needs
the
that.
what are the little boo-boo-foo things,
I got
like
a
the
Labubu.
little
I
demon
have
but
that.
I hate those so much, but
Yeah,
people are
they are stupid, but I
so
got them.
dead set on collecting them. Or like my sister was huge into Shopkins when that was a thing because
Okay,
it's just
yeah.
a collector's item. But like
Beanie
with Bath and
Babies.
Body Works, I can
Yeah.
tell you firsthand as somebody who comes from a family obsessed with Bath and Body Works, there's too many damn candles in this house. This is a disrespectful amount of candles. Like it could fill up the entire closet in the hallway with how
Yeah,
many
that's too many
candles,
candles.
lotions, and perfumes.
That's
Some are
okay,
the
so this
same scent, just labeled differently. I
have you ever
swear.
used an entire Bath and Body Works lotion? You never have. You've never.
No, I still have one from like 2 years ago sitting on my windowsill.
Yeah, you've never been able to do
You
it.
don't need that
Now,
much.
now
It's an
I
excuse to hoard,
I
I
have a
think.
guy version of that, which is Dr. Squatch. Are you guys familiar?
I've
No.
heard of it. Unfortunately, I have a
They
brother,
they
but yes, I'm familiar.
they're like nice smelling soaps, but like guy version, like pine tar,
Okay.
sage, and rum, things like that, and deodorants. And I've got a subscription. I get like 6 new bars of soap every 3 months or something. So that's
Okay,
my
that's
version of it,
no,
but I
but
use it.
six
How
bars
much
of soap
soap are
in
you
3 months.
using?
I could
Yeah.
see that. 2 bars of soap a month. You got a family, you got two other
No,
boys. I
Bed
mean,
Bath. The thing
okay.
about Bath and Body Works is you go in there, and if you're like a regular visitor, you're buying bulk every time and you're overloading yourself with it. This, like the subscription, I like. It's like I get this. If I run short, I go buy a bar of Ivory soap and fucking muscle it out until the next one comes. But that's about
Yeah, no, I
where I
think
go with
that's
that.
normal consumption of things. But like people just you don't need 75 Bath and Body Works lotions.
You really don't
To
need 75 of anything of Bath and
no,
Body Works. You
you don't
definitely
need
don't need that
75
many
of
candles
anything.
either.
Yeah, candles is
Like
overkill.
But
the
it's really
candles are
like these
ridiculous.
just whatever items, the Labubus, the fucking
What are Labubus?
it's a Labubu.
Do you have a Labubu?
I do.
You
Do
were
you want me to
looking
get
to
mine
your
to show
left.
you?
Yeah, now I have to
Okay.
see a Labubu.
It the only thing I can really kind of compare it to is like Lala Loopsy, which was something I grew up with, or
Or
strawberry
like Beanie
shortcake.
Babies? Is it like a Beanie Baby kind of vibe?
It's something
Or
like that,
Cabbage
but
Patch
more of a
Kid?
demonic, unhinged vibe, I guess. I'm not a fan of Labubus. They terrify me. I wish I could set them all on fire at the same time spontaneously. Kind of like what they did way back when with books out of libraries, and they just set all the books on fire. I want to do that with every Labubu in the world. I hate Labubus with
Oh, I've
passion.
seen those. I didn't know they had a name.
Yeah,
Is it
Labubu.
is it like a legit expensive one, or is it one of the
No,
off-brand ones?
it's a real Labubu. Well, you
Why?
can't really say that.
How expensive was it?
$26. It was not, I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
they're not expensive, but they're hard to get.
And may I ask, Des,
I guess it
did
also
it?
depends on the rarity because I've seen people sell some on like Facebook Marketplace for a couple $100 based on the rarity of it.
Yeah,
It's
I
because
think
totally.
you can only buy them at Pop Mart. So I mean it's the scarcity, I guess. But I happened to be at a place that
It's
had a Pop
Beanie
Mart, and so I
Babies.
went.
It's
It's
Beanie
Beanie Babies
Babies and Cabbage
2.0.
Patch Kids.
I mean,
it's
it's just,
unhinged. It's unhinged Beanie Babies.
but I just
Um
this is the only one I have. And actually I got it kind of as a gag. So
and Des, what did it add to your life?
it didn't a funny story, a funny story. But like
It just
I
exists.
don't need all the Labubus. I don't need nobody needs all the Labubus, first of all. Nobody needs those. You don't need every single pair of fucking Jordans. You don't need that.
I've never had a pair of Jordans.
Okay,
Fuck that.
nobody needs
I've
Jordans.
never had a pair of shoes more expensive than $35. I'm also a poor person, so I can't have nice things.
But like
But
you don't even wear them.
right? No,
Yeah,
I've
because you
had
don't want to
boyfriends
ruin
in the
them. So
past. I've had boyfriends in the past spend $200 on a pair
And
of
never wear them.
sneakers after he has like 30 other shoes. Yeah, he never wears them.
Yeah, no, it's that's
that's my
no need for that.
son.
Yeah, it's
He's got
Like
overconsumption.
what is the point? What is this? What does this achieve? Aside from taking up more closet space that you're
I'm
you'll
a New
never get
Balance
back.
guy. I'll get New Balance all day long. And Doc Martens. Love
Okay, I
some
will
Doc.
say that I have
I
like,
can do Under Armour or Puma. That's it.
I will say that
I
I
don't need
have
nothing.
like 27 Christmas trees. I don't need that many, but I like them.
But we
I like
all,
them strong.
to that note, we all have our for lack of a better term, eccentricities are things that we just like you know what the thing
Interests
that
and
I do that
collecting.
annoys the fuck out of me so much is I recently got a Steam Deck. Do you know what one of those
No.
is, Alyssa?
Oh, Steam. Yeah, I have. I don't
Steam
have a
Deck.
Steam Deck, but I know what it is.
So
Yes.
a Steam Deck is it's like a PSP or a Nintendo Switch, but it plays cross things. So you can play
Okay.
an Xbox game or a PlayStation game or
It's like a
PC.
cross-platform kind of
It
adapter almost.
I think it's the wave of the future. I love the thing. But my thing is I see a game, I've never played it. It looks cool in the ad, so I buy it and then I play it for 7 minutes and I spent like
And then you
more
quickly get
money than
tired
I
of it
should have.
That
and
could
move
be
on.
under fall under overconsumption. It's just I think we're gonna, with the whole society moving towards like more sustainability, things like I just think we're gonna just be like, what the fuck were we doing?
Well, I think
Well,
we're
Anyways.
also gonna
it's even like
And
with
showing it
iPhones.
off.
Everyone needs
Like
the
why?
latest iPhone.
Yeah.
It
I do.
and the thing is, especially with
that's me.
Apple, they
I'm a
rely
latest phone
more
guy.
so on their brand than actually creating something new. Like take Samsung for example. They recently made a really smart a safety truck, essentially a semi truck, and what it has is the truck has a camera in the front, and then it has a screen in the back showing people behind the truck. You know, especially in one lane roads, it shows people behind the truck, you know, if they want to get around the truck, it's safe to do so. It
Yeah.
shows what's in front of the truck for the people behind the truck who can't see it, right?
Oh,
I thought
that's
that was
kind
a
of
really
cool.
neat design.
Well,
But
Samsung I've always thought was the more practical of the two big ones. Apple versus
But even with
Apple's all
Apple,
about
if you're an Apple
that.
person, you have an iPhone, you have an iPad, you have a MacBook, you have an Apple Watch, you have your AirPods,
you have everything
you
Apple.
have all this Apple shit.
See,
Nobody uses an iPad for leisure. I mean, unless there's a specific business reason you're
well,
using it for a
it's
thing,
funny you say
you
that
don't just
because
use your iPad.
I
I think
like
mine
to
is Samsung. Yeah.
But you still
I
don't
like
use it for be
to
using it because your phone
I
does
like to be
everything.
versatile. So I have a Samsung phone, an Apple iPad, and a PC. I cross all the because if I can't find it on one thing, I'll find it on the other. But I'm very much. pragmatic with those things. And quite honestly, if you're gonna pick a tablet, no offense, Alyssa, because you have a Samsung, but
I got it
Apple's
for free. I'm
been
not complaining.
no, but Apple's been doing it the longest. They've got the best
But
tablet. Done.
everyone's got a
Oh
tablet
yeah.
for free because you don't need a tablet. You don't need one. They're your phone does everything.
Hmm.
Actually,
The
my phone holds me hostage sometimes.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Because I have an iPhone. Anytime I have to
Look
update
at
something,
Des.
I
Des
have to
is
go
on
to
her
the
phone
App
right
Store.
now.
I hate iPhone so much. It's not even funny. I despise it. I miss Android so much. My iPhone
Uh,
has caused me so many problems.
I've never
Yeah,
Like
had an
fuck
the
Apple.
phone, it'll hold you hostage and you won't be able to update any information. Like I had my bank app, it needed to be updated. I couldn't access it because I had something wasn't paid. It was like $3 or something that wasn't paid in overdue bills, which is weird
Yeah.
because I canceled my subscriptions already, so I don't know why I'm still being charged, right? And it held my phone
You
hostage
can't
until
update your fucking
I
bank
paid it
app
off.
unless you pay Apple their money. That's funny.
Well,
Anyway,
and here's the problem.
Literally, like it wouldn't let
That's
me access anything. I couldn't download anything new. I couldn't upload or update anything, and it held me hostage because I owed them $3.
That's the thing about Apple. They've used this term with them before. It's called artificial obscurity. So, like, if you have one for like 4 years, even though the previous one you had for 8 years, now they're like doing this where you can't operate
yeah.
anything because it's
I
no
can't
longer
even, and the thing is with Apple is that all of their devices are made to eventually be replaced. All of them.
right.
You cannot remove your data. You can't clear anything up. I've tried. And my iPhone is essentially breaking. It's in perfect working condition, but it's so overrun with data and all this shit that I either have to pay monthly to get more, or I have to get a new phone altogether. This is an
Yeah,
iPhone
see, I'm a
12.
Samsung
It's
guy
not even
with
that
phones.
old. It's not even that
Yeah,
old.
I do have an
It's
Android.
an iPhone 12.
So,
Like
um,
it's small, but it works.
What number is it?
So, huh? Oh, it's an
What?
iPhone 12.
yeah, what are we on? 28?
Holy,
I don't even know.
that's an old ass phone.
I got it like 4 years ago. It was like $1,000. It was bought for me. I despise iPhone. I'm never going back to iPhone. As soon as this thing taps out, I'm going to Best Buy and I'm buying some like used, I don't know, Android or something, but it's not any
Android. Get a
iPhone.
Samsung. Samsung makes good
I
phones.
have heard a lot of great things of Samsung, especially with the photography settings.
Mm.
I'm
Hmm.
looking forward to getting that. I do miss my photography.
So with the phones you buy every year, I mean, mine, I'm usually like a 2-year person, but even that could fall under overconsumption. Like we
Yeah, I'm a
just
2 year
don't
person.
need to do it. I mean, Jesus Christ. You don't need 87 cars. You don't
That's
need it.
I'm a
that's
broke
the
person, so
gotta
I can
have
only
it
buy
vibe.
phones when I can afford it.
You can't, we don't need a whole Thanksgiving spread for a family of 3. I mean, we don't need it. You don't need it.
I
Anyway,
No, I
think,
was talking about that earlier. Yeah,
yeah,
Thanksgiving is losing its luster now too. I'm not. I don't even. I always make the turkey. I always do all that stuff. I just don't. I'm exhausted.
so yeah,
Uh,
maybe you don't need 17 pies for a family of 3. You just, I mean,
I
you
mean,
don't.
I feel like that's
You
even the
want it.
case with Halloween. Like I've noticed over the years, people are just less and less hyped about Halloween. I haven't seen as many decorations up. I haven't seen as
Dude,
many
not
people
here.
trick or
Shit, people be
treating.
fucking eating that shit up.
I
yeah, we do a
wish.
Halloween episode on the show every year. Yeah,
Man,
Okay,
we
yeah,
love
I remember
Halloween.
you were telling me about that when we were like first. I was like, I missed that. That was so fun. I
next,
love Halloween. I mean, it could also be
yeah,
because I'm a cosplayer, but I just love the excuse to dress up or hide into a bush and scare unsuspecting passing-byers.
that's funny.
Ah, it's funny
You
that you say
you
that.
bag snatching too? Don't do that.
I
So
debated
what's
it.
our
Speaking
next
of
one,
bag
Des?
snatching, so here's the next one. This is gonna be a hot take. Anti-bullying
Get
culture.
down off the table. I'm sorry.
Anti-bullying culture.
Get off the table. Come here.
I'm actually a
Bring
big
back bullying.
anti-bullying guy.
Bring back bullying.
Yes, bring back bullying. People are too much wussies. Yeah.
Not to the we don't got to bring all of the bullying back. Just a little bit.
Obviously, not to the degree where you're being physically beaten, but bring back bullying to the point where it
Cyberbullying
gives
is
people
bad.
tougher.
Cyberbullying, let's not bring cyberbullying back.
Oh yeah, no, that's a
But bring
nightmare and a
back
half.
real bullying. not to where like
I
it's
got
so
shoved in a
bad.
locker.
Dude, I've
That
been
was my bullying.
dude, I bullied kids. I mean,
That
some
doesn't
people
surprise
even
me
need
at
to
all,
be in a
Des.
fight. Get into a fight. Get into a fight. Like
The problem is
people are
everybody
too
is so pent up in anger and ready to throw hands, but nobody's willing to throw the first punch because they're too scared to. That
meet
or
at the
people
park
don't
after
know how to
school,
fight.
but they don't do that anymore. That's why they're so
Oh,
pent up with anger. They don't want to fight
or
nobody at the
for
park.
me, this is gonna sound strange because I'm a big guy. I don't know, Luna, if you
I
really
remember
remember
you were
meeting
definitely on
me.
the taller side.
Yeah, I'm a big guy. But I never wanted to fight. And for me, it was always the meet me at the school in the parking lot and we're gonna throw down.
Yeah,
And
catch me outside. How about that?
I would find these
Catch
circuitous
me outside,
routes
catch me
that I could
hands.
avoid the parking lot and avoid the
Mhm.
fight altogether. And like kids back then were so analog as opposed to today. Like there'd be people on those circuitous routes going, "He's over here. He's over here." Like I had to throw down, but I didn't. I'm just never. It's never been in my heart. I'm not. I mean, I can fight. I mean, I hurl around psych patients,
But you only do it if you have to, not if.
but I do it in a defensive place. I like when I'm running out in front of the psychotic person, it's to protect the ladies. And I know that may
Hmm.
sound misogynistic, but that's just how I was raised.
Well,
If
That's good
my
though.
mom
That's
would
not
never
massage.
let
That's a
me live
good
it
quality.
down. My mom would never let me live it down if there was a woman being beaten and I was just like, all right, hands off. So,
Must have been the wind.
so
right,
I
right.
don't know. I don't know. I think that not a lot. Maybe not to the degree. Just
No, no.
kids need to be bullied a little bit sometimes by their
Yeah,
peers.
it pokes at your normal life and
It's
causes you to
character
evolve.
building.
What's that?
Character
Yeah, yeah.
building.
But it's like an evolutionary standpoint from your own little life. Like if you just walk through life and you never have any trauma, no
Experience.
bullying or illness or any of these things, you're gonna
If
be
you
scared
don't
of life.
experience that in
Never
school,
had
the
your
real world
feelings
is going
hurt.
to shock you.
No one's
Yeah.
ever
That's
hurt your
how.
feelers.
And that honestly is one of the things I worry about most with the world right now is we have bubble wrapped our kids so much, and even Des and I, who are not in that camp, we do it to a certain degree. We get
Whenever
them
I
that
bully my kid,
again
I tell
doesn't
him shit
surprise
that,
I
me.
that
was bullied by both of my
I'm
parents.
not, and again, not to a degree, not to where he's like gonna hate himself, but somebody needs to tell you that your pants are too short. I'm gonna tell you. It's called love.
Oh
And if
my
I
Honey,
don't tell
we
you,
are.
somebody at school, well, even these days probably aren't gonna tell you because you can't say anything to anybody.
my littlest,
Which
most
wait
of
on a
what I
flood,
say
buddy. Go get new jeans.
my
No.
littlest my the general, I wouldn't call it bullying, but the general harshness that I do to him is like, dude, you're smart. What are you thinking?
No.
He just does something that's just, I know that you're smarter than this. This
Oh
is
no,
lazy
that's called you're
thinking.
yelling at. You're no, that's just parenting. But I mean
Yeah.
bullying. Like I'm gonna make
Nope.
before I gotta make fun of you before you walk out the door.
Right.
It definitely is something I feel like should be brought back, not only to build character, because I feel like if I hadn't been bullied, I would have been like one of these pansy wusses that you see everywhere nowadays. It definitely not only
Everywhere.
builds personality, but it also kind of teaches you how to deal with that shit in the real world. Because if you
Mhm.
ain't gonna get bullied in school, you're gonna be hella surprised in the real world, especially in this day and
Well,
age, when you come across people who are mean to you, and you're like, "When you so mean to me?" So get over it.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
just
just
well,
how
being
it is.
regular mean. I'm not bullying you. Like,
Yeah.
I've mentioned it. I've mentioned it on the show before, but Jordan Peterson has this great line, and it's about like you have to hate your kids, and he doesn't mean like wish them dead or wish them harm, but what he's saying is that if you don't dislike your kid for being an asshole and you just let things slide, then they're gonna go out into the real world where nobody owes them shit, and they're gonna get fucking decimated. And
Hmm.
so, yeah,
you're gonna
I'm
walk
all
down
for.
Times Square in New York City and someone's gonna call you a pizza face and you're
What,
gonna
you gonna
get
cry?
yeah,
You
because you
bitch.
would never ex- but if you have that character building, call me a pizza face, I give no fucks. Like, okay, yeah, whatever, you fucking three balls. like
Yeah,
Yeah.
four eyes,
it not only
whatever.
teaches you how to defend yourself, but it also teaches you again.
To not
It
get
comes
bothered.
back to yeah. It's just like why do you give a fuck if they're gonna be mean and say some shit like that? At
Listen,
least like fight back.
if you don't think that growing up with the name Zeus got me into a lot of
Character
altercations,
building.
yeah. I mean, for what it's
Kids were
worth,
mean with my last name too, especially in like grade school. They had this song and it wasn't even funny. And they would like it's alone alone. Like it was like just the meanest thing. Like I remember being like second grade out on the playground on a swing and these kids just came up and like, hey, it's alone. I was like, why do you
oh,
guys even
here,
bother anymore? You literally have glasses and you're missing your two front teeth. Go bother somebody else.
I got the perfect parental bullying thing that you'll ever hear. So my stepdad, he's my dad, just no, but
Hmm.
biological father.
Go
He's
ahead.
history. Um, so I would work with him. He was a glazier, like installs storefronts, glass storefronts in front of stores.
Mhm.
And one time I'm working with him, and this is pretty much his standard.
Yeah.
One time it was like super hot. We were in Georgia in the middle of the summer,
Good
installing
Lord.
glass outside the mall. And he's like, "You want to go home?" And he really wanted to go home. This is the comedy of it. And he's like, "We can go home whenever you want. You just have to say my name is Zeusy the Pussy, and I can't stand the heat." And sure as fuck enough, eventually I was like, Zeusy the Pussy, can't stand the heat. But that is parental bullying as it should be.
Hmm.
He would also call me,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, he would call me Squirrel. And I don't know why it
I
bothered.
keep getting that nickname.
Uh,
Five people call me Squirrel.
I
Where
call
is
my
it
son,
from
I call
and
my son
why?
Pootie.
What?
Pootie. I call my son Pootie. And he's like, what?
He hates it.
Hates it. Well, I think now he's just like, yeah, whatever.
You know,
But
there is part of it of our own malicious pleasure in finally we get to pick on somebody that can't pick on us back.
I don't know.
All right, so
Okay,
what's
next
next,
one.
Des?
Okay, so this is like a through the gen this is kind of tied to what was cool now is stupid, but what is cool now is not gonna be. Anyway, so you know
What
the
was
grunge,
unhindered, but by what might have
whatever.
been.
You know what grunge? You know the grunge look, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, the 90s grunge.
I kind of like the grunge look. I'm not gonna
Well,
lie.
hold on. So I'm getting there. So then it was cool in the 90s and then it like Jinko jeans, all the things, and then it went up to the wayside.
Those were ugly.
Now all of a sudden it's kind of coming back, but it's in a different it's a different way. To me, the mom jeans that are 18 sizes too big, the crop tops, that kind of look that there's a lot of graphic tees now. It kind of it's not the same, but it's similar to me. It's a different
Kind of
type of
80s cheap,
look. It's
actually.
like a 2000s uh, uh futuristic grunge, if you will. I don't know. I just don't understand why these kids are walking around with jeans 8 sizes too big that are fucking wider than.
That and their underwear is all out for the world to see. Pull
Well,
your
that's a
damn
different
pants up
look,
and get
but
the fuck out.
they're huge,
It's
but
still just as bad.
they're like
See, I think
there's no figure
honestly,
to any of these girls. They're wearing these jeans that are so wide at the bottom with these chunky ass ugly shoes and a fucking crop top. I don't understand it.
see,
I don't know why Crocs came back or Uggs. There's a reason why Uggs are called Uggs. Can you get off my face? But it's like
I
this
it
don't mind an
habit's
UGG.
too much.
no personal space. I can't leave them alone because it gets on the table. Anyways, but it's like when I was a kid, Crocs were like the things that poor people wore, and
They're
I
ugly.
had Crocs. But
And now
everyone
you
made fun
can't
of
buy
me
a
for
pair
wearing
for less than,
Crocs.
yeah.
Now Crocs are getting
And
the
now
kids are
it's
putting them
like
in sport
so
mode.
cool.
I remember when Skechers were like
What are you doing?
art shoes. Like Skechers were the cheap shoes, and now Skechers are like fucking as expensive as Nikes, Reeboks,
Yeah.
anything else. Um, I want to talk on the grunge thing though. I think the grunge look, like the jeans with the flannel wrapped around your waist and the Doc Martens. I don't think it diminished, but I don't think it ever went away. I think
And
they're
there were like wide leg pants. There was never a tight fitted
It's like
bottom
parachutes.
structure.
no. I think grunge is still alive. The look.
I
The
just think
music
it's
is still
different.
pretty
It's
fucking
it's
great too.
it's different because the music that goes along with the look is not the same. And it's just different. It's
Yeah.
marketed different. It's they're marketed as mom jeans or it's marketed as instead of it being a wide leg it's flare pant, I don't know, with the like cami sole and the flannel around your waist and the weird fucking necklaces that like look like tattoos. That was
Um,
weird.
to argue that, I think the music sucks now, so that
Well,
could
that's
very
because
well.
that's you.
It
Yeah.
definitely does. I struggle to find, songs that aren't from the early 2000s that are actually nice. Most of it is auto-tune, it's annoying, it's loud, it's about hookup
It's Pink
culture,
Pony Girl.
or
And
That's a bop.
interestingly enough,
That's weird because
interestingly
it's
enough,
not.
I'm
But that is the
I'm
bop today.
totally. Can I get my check?
Pink Pony
Hold on.
Girl.
My check.
Like that's not even
Um.
that song's not even fun. That gets
So
it's
no
really
one's
not.
excited about that. Like
this
that song comes on and it's like you get no
what song?
excitement. There's no fucking you're just like, yeah, you're not hyped about it. It's just a song,
I
but it's
feel
like
like it's
one
a
of the most
song
popular
you would
songs.
hear in an ice cream shop, but it's
Yeah.
really not
It's
that
called Pink Pony Girl. It's
good.
not a good song, but it's like so popular. I don't know why.
So it's interesting for me. I'm a grunge, Pink Floyd, Beatles guy, but I can't get enough of Bruno Mars. The guy puts out bangers. He puts out great songs that are catchy. And
I've not
Lady
heard a
Gaga,
banger. I have not heard a certified banger in so long by
Lady
anybody.
Gaga, she is fucking incredible. Um, but I would not normally, if you were to say, listen to this person, this is the type of music they do, explaining her, I would never even take the time to do it. But like I said, Bruno Mars, that guy can fucking wail, and he puts out songs that they got a beat and you can dance to them. Outside of that, rock is really suffered greatly. Like there's just no rock songs. Rap is always. What's this one song? I don't like it, but I like it. It's a Sugar on My Tongue. Have you heard that one?
Sugar on my
Oh,
tongue,
that one
tongue.
is sugar on my tongue.
I don't
Mm.
It's
know what
it's
you're.
like every reel is about that, and it's catchy. I don't know that I like it, but like, oh, the one that annoys me that I like it is that APT by Rose and Bruno Mars.
Oh,
I don't know.
It it's
Again,
so
I think that was
fucking
dumb.
catchy.
I've not heard a banger in so long that I don't even like.
I mean, even with some rap songs, like I can stand NF, I can stand Kid Travis. Kid Travis isn't necessarily rap, but I can do Kid Travis, I can do NF. I can do all these other things. But with modern day, I guess it also depends on the culture wise, because like it goes back to like black culture versus white culture. It's different culturally. There's some rappers who, are black rappers. Not to say black rappers are all like this, but there's some rap songs done by black rappers, and it's like they're mumbling the entire song, and I have no idea what the fuck they're saying. Like it's, and then there's other songs about gun violence, and a lot of what rap is how people can, I feel, kind of just how they can connect. But with a lot of modern day rap, it's gotten a lot different versus the rap that I used to
It
listen
doesn't
to
have the
growing
heart
up.
that it used to.
It
No,
no, it
Like,
no,
doesn't.
no
It all
music
sounds
does.
it
It's
all
like none of this
sounds
music
it
does.
it sounds
yeah,
auto-tune, it sounds AI, it doesn't sound like it's
it's
genuine. And that's
produced.
that's the issue with a lot of music nowadays. It no longer sounds like good music that's actually genuinely written from the heart. It sounds like shit that's either AI created or it's about sex or some other spicy activities or hookup culture or all this stuff.
But
It's no
then, but then
longer.
you have you seen A Star Is Born?
No.
Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I've seen Lady Gaga. I can't say her music is my taste per se, but
I
yes.
see. That's funny because I think she, much like, okay, so we had like the Pink, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera era. Hands down, if you ask me, Pink was the fucking bomb.
I didn't
Like
Pink
really
was
she
care
just,
for her
good.
that much.
I
I
wasn't the
think that
biggest
she,
fan of I mean, I was more like into Sia or
Yeah, Sia and Lady
shoot,
Gaga are
what's
kind
her
of in that
face?
same. I
Lady
think
that sang
Sia's better.
Jolene. Help me out.
Oh,
Uh,
Or
you mean Dolly Parton?
thank you. Yes. Like I was well, I also grew up with older music, some songs like the Beatles, Rolling Stones, Elvis
But see,
Presley.
Dolly Parton transcends like everybody can have their own type of music, but everybody likes "If I Could Turn Back Time" by Cher.
Mhm.
Like there are
mhm.
songs that just
They're
transcend your
they're
music
bangers.
styling. What's that?
They're these bangers. There hasn't been. I'm telling you this on the way home. Listen to Pink Pony Girl and tell me if that song's not stupid as fuck. That's like probably number one on the charts right now, or number up there.
Well, even like with the K-pop Demon Hunter songs, those were good songs. Surprisingly for Netflix, I have to give it to them. Those were good songs, especially in modern day where K-pop is such a big thing. K-pop
I
is
have
good,
no
but
interest
they're
in
not,
K-pop
I
whatsoever.
don't either,
yeah,
but
they're
it's
not
huge.
necessarily bangers, right? So when you got songs like Golden, when you got songs like
That song's fucking stupid.
I didn't hate
Anyway,
it. I didn't hate it. I'm not normally big into these songs. I didn't hate it. The songs that I do find stupid, like you said, Pink Pony Club, that's one, or
Oh, I have to hear this
the
song now.
I mean on Gutter, like that
is it
one.
Pink Pony Girl or Pink Pony Club? I don't know.
Pink Pony Club.
Okay.
Pink Pony Club. Ugh,
It's
hate
still
that shit so
stupid.
much. It's okay,
This
not
is
only is it overly girly for me personally, it just makes me physically cringe listening to
I
that.
just
I hate it so
no,
much with a
dude.
passion. Because the
I was
only
at a
thing I think
bachelor.
of is the fucking Barbie movie.
I was at. Is it in the Barbie movie?
Maybe.
I don't know. I was
That
at a
that's the only thing I
bachelorette
can
Alyssa,
party.
associate.
I got to tell you, you are a breath of fresh air. That you're what? How old? 20?
Yeah.
And some of the shit that comes out of your mouth is like so 35, 40.
I was at a
Well, I was
bachelorette
raised by
party.
my grandparents, so that could be why.
Listen.
Maybe.
This story. I was at a bachelorette party. This was not like this is maybe at the most 2 years ago. Maybe it was that year ago. I don't know, but it had not been that long ago. But anyway, we're all like in the bathroom getting ready, and this bitch is like, I'm like, ooh, we need a banger, and she's like, ooh, Pink Pony Club, whatever the fuck. I was like, okay, I've never heard that song before, but maybe it's a hit, and maybe I need to hear this. I was so pissed. I was like, who the f get this shit off? Like, this is not. Nobody's excited about this song. Like, I'm not hyped. I need to get hyped. I need to have some upbeat shit. Like, this is
Yeah,
not
see,
it.
if I want to get hyped, I'm gonna go back like 30 years to like Godsmack, whatever. Like I'm doing the best I ever did. I'm doing the best I like the
Yeah,
music now, the
it's
music that's out now has no heart.
Excitement.
It's all about catchy. And like I said, I do like a
it's
Bruno Mars song.
material because you got those songs like something to do with Prada. It's material. It's spice. It's hookup culture. It's about girl boss and what girl boss is
What do
essentially
you were
being.
about to say Spice
The
Girls, and
last
I would actually give the Spice
No,
Girls credit
Spice Girls aren't
for
bad.
they kicked out some bangers. They were not undigestible.
Yeah, they were fine. So the last one, the last banger I think I in my mind can pull out is WAP.
And that is such an awful song.
I fucking love that
It's
song.
such a bad song.
WAP,
Well, because
WAP.
even like nowadays, you even
You
have
can do
like all like that
CPR to that
depressive
song.
shit. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Billie Eilish, but a lot of her music
No
I
is
bangers.
like her,
just
yeah.
bad. Like the biggest shit that I listen to is Alan Walker, and he's a Norwegian DJ. I've been listening to him since like 2014. It
Billie Eilish still has hope. She's kind of gone mainstream, and I think she was better when she was like kind of
newer.
an upstart, kind of being a shithead. Yeah, we
I like how
need,
she's
you know what?
sarcastic. I definitely can
We
get
really
with
need
that
more
though.
music. We need more shitheads.
All right, here's
No,
another
what we
one.
need is like we should bring back shit like Pitbull or Jennifer Lopez, Shakira, like
Jennifer
older songs
Lopez,
from late
Jennifer and
90s,
Block.
early two like 90s, early 2000s. That wasn't bad music.
That
Yeah,
was like the
you
era
nailed
of
it. It's all
bops.
auto
Era of
tuned.
bops.
It's all
Okay.
auto tuned.
Next one. Lip filler. The amount of lip filler that
Nobody
these
needs
bitches
lips that big. They literally
no.
look like two hot they look like two sausages
Your
pressed together.
lips look like this. That's too many. You have D. Not everyone needs a pair of DSLs. That's too big.
No,
Like,
yeah.
there's
There's
now
even some people who get such outrageous plastic surgeries I've seen. Their face looks like bicycle seat cover.
Dude, you can get something called a
Every
lip
once in a
flip.
while,
This
like
thing,
you
hold on,
know,
wait,
Steve.
hold on, wait.
Okay.
So there's this thing instead of lip filler. Now the lips you can't get them big enough with the fucking lip filler. So now there's this procedure where they go in and cut your frenulum and it like flips up your lip.
Ugh.
So it just looks like
Why?
this. It's fucking ugly.
See,
That is not cute.
it's interesting you brought up plastic surgery
No,
because
I brought up lip
you can
filler. I
look
didn't
at
bring up
some
plastic
people.
surgery.
I brought up
Well,
plastic surgery.
I mean, this is essentially in that realm, is what it meant. You'll look at somebody like, say, a Steven Tyler, who literally looks the same he did back in the 80s. But then you look at somebody like Meg Ryan, and she looks like her face got smashed up against the glass, and they just
Well, yeah, it's because
Mhm.
it's almost like getting a tattoo. They say when you get a tattoo, that's it. You're getting a bunch of tattoos after that because you become addicted to it. Well, same thing like with your face or your plastic, whatever body part you're getting plastic surgery on it. You just keep doing it because you just keep having it, and then at some point it's too much, and it goes
yeah,
downhill from there.
they
It's
look
a
like.
bell curve. It looks good until it doesn't, and then you're fucked because you can never go back. You know,
I think also your body type, like how much fat you have, and I'm not
buccal
for lack
fat.
of better, but like Meg Ryan, she would have aged beautifully, gracefully, but she wanted like pouty lips and all that other stuff.
Yeah, so she got the lip filler, probably the lip flip. Buccal fat removal is another one that people are doing, which is basically sucking the fat out of your cheeks. So you look like a skeleton. And which again, I can see maybe why they did that because the high cheekbones is it. You can create that with makeup. Also, you don't need the fat sucked out of your face like to do that.
I have that genetically. My cheekbones, I've been told, are really high. I'm also really white though, so it's hard to
Hmm.
see that. But
Hmm.
I've been told I have nice cheekbones, and they were like, "Have you done any cosmetic surgeries?" No, I have not. I don't need to. I don't want to. I've even had people like once I started doing like the little modeling thing when I had first started it, I started suddenly getting advertisements for plastic surgery. I'm like, why? I
Well,
don't.
there's also a procedure you can get implants for your cheekbones. I mean, Botox, I think Botox is great. Botox is not included in this. You can do a lot with Botox, and it's not
Did you do
surgical.
Botox? Is that what you're saying, Des?
I I've received Botox, yes.
Where?
Oh, all up in the face. Well, from here up.
I was just
Just
talking about that on the car ride home too. I initially before I knew what Botox was, because my grandmother was talking about one of her treatments, she has to get an injection in her butt, and I'm like, that's Botox, isn't it? She's like, no, that's not the same thing, and I'm like, oh, same concept, all right.
It's
But
kind of weird. Kind of weird.
no,
I feel like the biggest issue is the beauty standards nowadays are almost to an extreme point where people have to take cosmetic surgeries to keep up with those standards.
But interestingly enough, I'm gonna actually disagree with you on that. Lady Gaga is more of a classically pretty woman, but she's got flaws. Like she's got a huge nose.
Oh yeah.
She's a little dumpy. Taylor Swift, as much as I can't stand her
Taylor
music,
Swift is all over the fucking place.
but you know what?
I
One
don't
thing
mind
I'll
Taylor
say about
Swift.
her, she doesn't look like she had any plastic
I
surgery.
don't
She
know
look,
if she has. But again, that's the beauty of plastic surgery. You can get enough that looks fine and no one will ever know. You can get a little nose job. You can get a little
but when
well
you start looking
usually
like Ken and Barbie.
you can do like a little even a facelift. If you've never had anything done before, a facelift is fine because it really just does pull the skin back. But if you've had so much shit done and you pull the skin back, it's gonna look weird. Botox is
Yeah.
wonderful. People need to probably do that more than just fucking plastic surgery. But you don't have to do that much to be fine.
And for
But people
tonight's
do it too
episode, I'd
much.
like to thank our sponsor, Botox.
Botox, Zeneman.
So is that about it for your list or
I mean, there was a other couple other ones, but that's really it. I mean,
okay?
this is amazing. Things like internet
'Cause,
challenges and trans kids and things like that, I think are just never gonna be a thing.
oh boy, we can talk about both of those a lot more. Those could be episodes in their own right. But Ladies, do you feel like we have been on long enough?
I feel
Is
like
it
we
about
have.
time we wrap things up?
It's about.
I do
Don't
have to reach out to Josh. That
don't
reminded
close
me.
it out. Just stop the recording, Des.
Thank you.
Just making sure.
And that was a mansplaining moment with Zeus.
Bye.
Bye.
Fuck your mansplaining